Okay, I'm going to look at creating rollovers in this video. So if you look at my example website here that I made, if I put my mouse over these images, I've got something called a rollover. And I know it's a rollover because when I put my mouse over it, the images change. So here it says, for example, click here to see my street banner, or click here to see my blimp product. So I put my mouse over it and it changes. If I do open that and I look at these buttons here, these are also rollovers as well, because they change colour when I put my mouse over them. So this is something called a rollover, okay? And what you need to do to get maximum marks for your ePortfolio is to have them in your ePortfolio. They just add interest, and they just hit sort of 6-7 marks where you've got sort of graphical ways of providing hyperlinks. So there's two parts to this. What we've got is creating the rollover and then actually making it into a hyperlink. That's what this video is going to cover. So the first thing you need to do on your website is actually draw an AP div for the rollover. So I'm just going to draw a box here and I'm going to specify the size precisely and I'm going to type it in down here. And mine's going to be 256 by 252 pix. Width and height. Okay, it needs to say px. Don't delete the px, it must say px. Px stands for pixels, that's how big it is. Once I've done that, I then go to Fireworks and I make a new image exactly that size. So mine was 256 by 252. So you need to make a mental note of that and then be able to use that there. Don't change the resolution. Just leave that as that is there. Okay, so I've got a new space to work with, and what I need to do then is I need to take a screenshot of one of my pieces of work. In this case it was a program. Use the snipping tool to do that. Take a screenshot of it and then paste the screenshot into the blank space that you've made. Okay, so simply paste that in and arrange that to wherever you want that. Okay, then what you need to do is to avoid having an image which is too big. There's two ways to save it. You can simply go to Save As and save that in your O Drive folder. That's easy to do. It needs to be in your Images folder. As said in the earlier videos, okay, you should have an ePortfolio folder, then an Images folder. It needs to go into the Images folder and give that a name. For example, Program Rollover 1. Okay, or if it's going to be too big, you can go to this File, Image Preview, and you can specify here the exact file type and the size. So if that's too big, I can then shrink that down there. I can go down and that makes the file smaller there. You see that goes from, it was 100% there. If I change that, this is what we're looking at here. This file size changes every time. So the smaller it is, the smaller the file size basically. Also, I can change my image type there as well. And then click export. Or, like I said, you can just simply save it. Okay. Once you've done that, then I'm going to delete that there. And I'm just going to specify my canvas background to be white. And I'm going to put some writing on there which says click here to see my program. So it's going to look like this. Okay. And then I will save that as Program 2 or Program Rollover 1. It needs to be saved as a different file name to the first one. Okay, so now you've got two images. It's really important you've got two images. I go back to Dreamweaver then, and I click on that, make sure the cursor's flashing there. I go to Insert, Image Objects, Rollover Image. And you choose both of those images there. You need to browse to those images that you made. Okay, and in my case it was, I'll just have a look at that there. So I just choose that one there. Okay, so program there and then browse to the second one there, and it should still be in the same folder. Okay, and then it was program 2. Program V3 text, I'm going to choose that. Okay, so I've got two images there. I click OK. It places them in there. If it has made them a bit too big, you can just zoom out like that and you can shrink them down. Okay, you can just drag them in a bit. It's important that they look okay on there, so just drag that in a bit like that. I don't know why that's happened there, but if that does happen, you can just shrink it down, just move it about. So now if I preview that, I'll be able to see that I need to save that, and I'll be able to see that I've got a rollover. Okay. To make it into a hotspot, I need to click on that, and down here, if I just move this recording, I've got a button that's got hotspot tool. This is making it into a hyperlink. Okay, so I put that on there. It goes light blue color. Then I specify the link where I want it to link to. That needs to be a web page. Okay, this is going to a web page. So this is going to a program page. Then I can specify some alt text. I'm going to type in program there. You must do that. And then if it's a file, I can specify that opens in a new page or parent page, wherever I want that to open there. And I've saved that, I've done that, previewed that, that'll work, okay? I'm not going to save changes to that because I don't want that to save there, but you end up with this, okay? Your rollover and a link. Now, I'm just going to go through quickly how to make these rollover buttons here. So same principle there. You create a space on your ePortfolio to do that, and you specify the size exactly. So mine's going to be 300 by 75 there. Okay, and then I go back to Fireworks and I make that image. Okay, so I type in throughout 300 by 75 and I'm ready to go. If I want to quickly change the background color there, if I click on that, I just let my mouse down, just click on that. I can change my canvas color there if I want to. Okay. What I need to have are two buttons. And what I recommend you do is you create one and you have white writing, and you create the other and you have another color. Okay, so mine's red and black. I kept the writing the same. And the same thing as you did with the image rollover, you save them as two separate buttons. So I've got proposal button 2, proposal button 1. Two images, two different colors. Then I simply go back to that and I insert image objects, rollover image, and I browse the two images and click OK, and that will work. And if I want to create a rollover, sorry, I want to create a hotspot, it's the same thing there. It's this rectangle hotspot tool there. Okay, so that is how you make your buttons, you make hotspots, and you make graphical hyperlinks, okay, and rollovers. And you need to do that to get 6 to 7 marks. It's essential. You need to have those rollovers in there. When you've created them once, you'll need to save the page as another page, and you've done the job, okay? It's actually not too big a job. It'll probably take you about 15-20 minutes to create all your buttons. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.